Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking in English. Today we are going to do brownies, which is an international favorite. It's probably the most common dessert in the US. You'll find it at almost any restaurant, usually with a scoop of ice cream and chocolate syrup on it. But it's a very common dessert. It's something that I eat with my friends when I was little. It's something you make for someone for their birthday. It's a feel-good dessert, mostly because it's chocolate, butter, and sugar, so you can't go wrong. There are thousands of recipes online for brownies, so pick any recipe you want. It is hard to make a bad brownie. Having said that, there are brownies and then there are brownies. And today we are going to make the brownie, all right? And the secret to this brownie is that we're using peanut butter, all right? So before you go all, oh, those Americans and their stupid peanut butter, I promise you that you will love this recipe. Even people who do not like peanut butter have loved this recipe. So give it a try and let me know how it turned out for you. Before we get started, I put the oven already at 175, and what I'm going to do is just kind of grease a pan. Now, I'm very lucky because I have this pan that kind of comes apart, which is going to be very easy to take my brownies out. If you don't have something like this, which is probably the case, put some oven paper down, okay? And then you want to oil even your oven paper, all right? So I just had a little piece of butter on this napkin because if you do it with your hands, it's really hard to get the butter off your hands. You want to go around the sides and the bottom, and that part's done. Okay? Now coming closer here, and I'm going to show you what we're working with today. All right, to make the peanut butter part, we have peanut butter, and later I'll give you all the ingredients. You have the peanut butter, you have 1 egg, sugar, vanilla, and very kind of thick sea salt, okay? For the chocolate brownie part, we have chocolate and butter, which we're gonna melt later, more sugar, 2 more eggs, salt, vanilla, and flour, all right? So those are the ingredients we're going to use. And right now what we're just going to do to make the peanut butter part is whisk together the peanut butter, the egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, all of this sugar, and a couple pinches of this coarse salt, okay? And so I'm just going to whisk this together until it becomes smooth. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, so here's our peanut butter mixture. It's very, very thick, and that's fine. And we're just going to leave it off to the side for now, and we're going to work on our chocolate. Okay, so I'm going to use kind of what they call like a baño Maria in Spanish. I'm heating up some water here, and then what I'm going to do is just place a glass bowl on the top here. And with a new whisk, I'm just going to kind of whisk the butter and the chocolate together until it's melted. Okay, so our chocolate is now melted. There's a little bit of chocolate left. I'm just going to keep stirring until they disintegrate over here. And what I'm going to start doing is whisking in our sugar, our vanilla, and 1 egg at a time. Okay, so I'm going to whisk that in. And remember, this is the brownie part. This is where you're going to get more texture, which is why we're going to also add a bit of flour. But the flour, I'm going to mix in with a spoon, because if not, it gets all bunched up in the whisk. Okay, so with the flour. I'm just going to mix it in with a spoon or even with a spatula. Okay, so we have our chocolate mixture here, which is kind of thick, but it still runs, not like the peanut butter that's just kind of stuck together. What I'm going to do is just put like a third of the batter in. Okay. Now if you're making just regular brownies, you just put this whole the mixture in and you put it in the oven, eh? But since we're going to make these amazing brownies, we're going to kind of spread a thin layer around here. What I'm going to do is just kind of shake it to get it fitting. Put a little more. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just start putting chunks of peanut butter around. Alright, and you can see I'm putting big chunks, just kind of all over the place. Alright, so you have something that kind of looks like this. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is just pour this kind of in between the peanut butter. And try to get as much out as I can. Okay, now here's the fun part. You could cook it like this, but then you're just going to have big chunks, some with a lot of peanut butter and others with none. So you're going to take a knife and just trying to mix this around. Okay. Kind of rub it back and forth with your knife. You can make good swirls, kind of blend it in without mixing it. All right, we're not mixing it in, we're kind of cutting it in with a knife. This is also if you're making any kind of cheesecakes or things when you want to blend in flavors. You also do the same technique. All right. Okay, so I think we're about ready. Just going to make one last swirls. And now this is going to go in the oven at 175 for about 20 to 25 minutes. And we'll check it with a toothpick later to see that it comes out clean. Okay? Okay, so I just took this out of the oven. It's at 25 minutes. And we're going to do the toothpick test, which is you just take a toothpick and you stick it in the center. If it comes out clean, the brownies are ready. If not, I'm going to add another 3 minutes to the clock. Alright, so I'm going to put it back in the oven for 3 more minutes. Okay, so the brownies are out. They've been in for about 35 minutes, and now we're going to let them cool for about 20 to 30 minutes before we break into them. Okay, so our brownies are out. As you can see, I've taken them out of the pan, and I've cut in a piece here for you to see. This is the best way to eat it. It's still hot and moist and gooey. And what you can do is put a really cold scoop of ice cream in this really hot brownie, and it just kind of melts, and it's a wonderful treat. So I hope you enjoy them, make them, and share them with your friends.